I joined Nielsen Catalina about 2 months ago, and from Nielsen proper, and I'm the Chief Revenue Officer there now. And what I'm particularly excited about is I feel that we're in a moment in the media industry where we need to find the avenues to reach consumers, but there's a crisis in confidence around digital right now. What I'm excited about with Nielsen Catalina Solutions is we measure the effectiveness of advertising all the way down to sales. And I believe that as an industry, if we map that as a KPI, we can start addressing some of the issues with confidence we have in the industry and figure out how to advertise better.
So when you say there's a crisis of confidence, are you seeing that in dollars spent in digital video? Are you seeing that in attitudes from the brands talking about digital video? Like what are your indicators?
Well, I mean, I think a good example is what Marc Pritchard's been talking about. That was a pretty bold statement for the industry. And what you're facing right now is you have a scenario where television has always been a mainstay. It's effective, it works, it's predictable. Right? You can run a media mix model against a set of GRPs and have a pretty solid understanding of what outcomes are going to look like. As audiences start going to the digital world and you aggregate them through targeting, what you find is that there are gaps in some cases. There's surely fraud and viewability issues, there's supply chain breakdowns, and then there's a lack of understanding of, in some cases, or a forgetfulness of the basics of good advertising.
I love that, by the way. I think that's so very true. So I love this. So, we solve the crisis of confidence by turning appropriately to good measurement.
Yes, that's right. Or good measurement informs. If measurement's done well, it informs the way advertising works.
I love that so much too. I think one of the challenges of the traditional TV model is that the time lag between doing something like running television advertising and then truly understanding the impact on sales is so big that it's tough to make sort of smart, thoughtful, real-time optimizations. And that's one of the things that digital is good at.
That's right, and I think there's a huge amount of promise in that. The irony of it is that for big television commercials, brands spend a lot of time testing the creative in advance. And we find over and over again, creative is the most important variable in effectiveness. So a big advertising campaign, because it goes to a lot of people on TV and it's a high production budget, you test it a lot. In digital, ironically, we don't. Right? Because we have so many smaller pieces of video, and so the way of doing that in the digital world is to test more of a feedback loop against effectiveness. I think that's where there's some interesting opportunities.
Yeah, I would totally agree. I mean, where I think it's really getting interesting is where you, as you said, you take measurement as output and flip it on its head and turn it into measurement as input. How do you use that to kind of immediately inform what you do next?
That's exactly right, and I would say there's a change we're seeing taking place in the industry and the way people apply effectiveness. In that a number of years ago, the type of things that we do, showing sales lift, was largely used by publishers to prove that they were effective in something so they would get on another buy. We're seeing the effectiveness measures now actually be used much more intelligently, both by the publishers, the brands, and the agencies, to actually make that loop to inform what's going on.